Welcome to Sakhi Soul Stories, where every tale whispers of love, destiny, and the quiet miracles that unfold when two souls are meant to find each other. There was once a girl named Diya, a woman of quiet strength, gentle eyes, and a heart that believed in the goodness of people. She wasn't the kind to chase love. She believed that if something was truly meant for her, it would find her softly, without chaos. Her world was simple. Morning prayers whispered before sunrise, jasmine flowers adorning her hair, a cup of chai by the window as rain painted her city silver. She found joy in small things, a child's laughter, the smell of wet earth, a handwritten letter tucked inside an old book. And somewhere in that same city lived Aarav, a man wrapped in silence. He worked hard, spoke less, and smiled even lesser. People called him strong, but inside, he was a wanderer, a soul that had forgotten what warmth felt like. He didn't believe in forever anymore. Too many promises had turned into memories, but destiny, as always, loves irony. One monsoon evening, Diya walked into her favorite bookstore, the kind that smelled of old pages and coffee. Outside, thunder rolled softly, and the world felt paused between breaths. Aarav was there, standing by a shelf of poetry. Their eyes met for a brief moment, and though strangers, something in them recognized each other. It wasn't attraction, it was remembrance, the kind that whispers, "I've known you before." That night, they spoke about books, rain, and how the city lights seemed to have their own heartbeat. There was nothing extraordinary in their words, yet everything about that moment felt eternal. Days passed, their conversations became a habit, like sunrise and sunset, quiet, but necessary. Diya brought color into Aarav's gray world. She reminded him that love isn't a storm, it's the calm after one. And he taught her that strength isn't loud, it's the courage to stay kind, even when life isn't fair. When they were together, the world slowed down. They could sit in silence and still feel understood. They could walk through crowded streets and still feel alone together. But love is not a fairy tale. It's a journey through imperfections. When life began to pull them in different directions, new jobs, distant cities, responsibilities that weighed heavy, they had to learn love's hardest lesson, that even true souls sometimes need to stand apart to grow. Diya would write letters she never sent, pouring her heart onto paper like prayers. Aarav would read her old texts on sleepless nights, wondering if she still looked at the same moon. And somehow, across miles, their hearts kept talking. Time changed, but the feeling didn't, because real love doesn't fade, it only learns to wait. Months later, on a quiet morning filled with golden light, Aarav returned. He didn't bring gifts or promises, only sincerity in his eyes. He found Diya in her garden, watering the plants she had named after her dreams. He simply said, "I tried to find peace in 100 places, but it still lives here in your eyes." She smiled through tears, not of surprise, but of recognition, because when something is written for you by the divine, it never really leaves. It just finds its way back when the time is right. They stood there, no music, no drama, just two souls that finally stopped searching. And in that stillness, the universe whispered, "This is love, simple, steady, sacred." Because love isn't about who arrives with fireworks. It's about who stays when the lights fade. It's not in grand gestures, but in gentle presence. And it's not always found in perfection, but in peace. So, if you've ever loved someone silently, waited patiently, or believed that what's meant for you will always return, this story is your reminder. Love doesn't need to be loud to be real. It just needs to be true. This was the story of Diya and Aarav, two souls who didn't find each other once, but found each other again. You're listening to Sakhi Soul Stories, where every tale isn't just told, it's felt. Where hearts rediscover hope, and love learns to breathe again. May this story remind you sometimes, the greatest miracle is a love that finds its way back home.